Okay. Well, my name is Samson Racioppi. I actually volunteer with MassCan. I'm not authorized to speak on their behalf. I'm also trying to get my name on the ballot for Congress. I currently study philosophy, politics, and economics at Suffolk University in Boston.
Cool. Where are we at today, and how has it been so far?
So this is the first annual Harvest Cup, and I say annual because it is my understanding that this is going to be done every year. This particular year, there's a lot of people who are bummed out because there's no consumption indoors at this facility, even though I've seen, people hitting vape pens and things here and there, unofficially, of course. Next year, in the subsequent years, it should be much better because it's my understanding that we're going to have some of these regulations put into effect where we're going to be allowed to consume indoors, and this type of event's going to be completely different. We might even have things like competitions held right inside of these inside of events like this. But I don't know. I can't speak on behalf of the Harvest Cup either. I'm just speculating.
It's like us fighting against the system or the man, or is it actually working well, and we're actually making good progress?
It's funny you say that because people ask me about how I feel with Massachusetts legalization, and I'm like, we didn't legalize it. We're not living in a system where cannabis is completely out in the open and we can trade it freely with each other for either money or not. We've highly regulated it, and even with the high regulations, people still don't have access to it. Massachusetts is dragging their feet. A lot of people are celebrating. It's funny. I get kind of triggered when people ask me, what do I feel about the legalization in Massachusetts, because it's still a fight. There's still a lot that needs to be done. For example, I have a friend who got arrested for OUI drugs. This was 9 months ago, not even a year ago. It was after legalization had already been signed into law. He rolled through a stop sign, and the police officer pulled him over. His car smelled like burned marijuana. I know, it's terrible. So the officer confronted him about it. He told the truth. He said, I just had a child at home. I can't smoke indoors, so I go out into my car to consume cannabis, and that's why it smells. Well, the officer continued to press him. Were you consuming today? Were you consuming today? And the guy admitted, yes, I consumed around lunchtime. And this was 5 or 6 in the evening, so many hours had passed. Guy arrested him. The police officer arrested him. OUI drugs, had his car towed, lost his license while he fought these charges. He's a manager for the sales department at a car dealership. So his job revolves around driving cars. Like, there's a lot of driving cars. It really messed him up. He went to jury trial. The jury sided in favor of him. So he was found not guilty for OUI drugs. Big celebration, of course. Goes to the registry to get his license back because, like I think I said, they take your license in the meantime when you have charges like OUI drugs. Went back to the Massachusetts registry to get his license back, and they said, no, you have to go through remedial classes. It's as if he was found guilty. He was being punished for something that he didn't actually do. And so there's still a lot of advocacy. There's still a lot of things that need to happen in the state of Massachusetts. So, yeah, it's good that we can consume outdoors in smoking areas, and I can grow a certain amount of plants at home. That's great, but there's still a lot that needs to be done. Yes. So let me tell you about the first time I volunteered for MassCan. I'm 36 years old right now. My first MassCan rally, I was 14 years old. And I went by myself. I got on the train from Haverhill, Massachusetts, and the doors opened up and a big cloud of pot smoke left the train. It was incredible. There were people on the train smoking joints and hitting water pipes, and alongside people who were going to work the same day in like suits and stuff. And as a 14-year-old, this act of civil disobedience really turned me on. It was really, really cool. Looking back on it, it was kind of ignorant because you have all these people who are going to work and they probably don't want to smell like pot smoke, but as a teenager, that was really cool. And I wasn't going to volunteer that day. I was just going to the Freedom Rally to check it out. And something that really bothered me was the amount of trash that people leave behind. It's like a concert, when you leave a concert, there's just trash everywhere. And there were volunteers going around with plastic bags, encouraging people to pick up their trash as they were leaving. And it really bothered me because a lot of people were just blowing them off. They were just walking off the field. And I'm like, today I don't have anything going on. I'm going to walk up to one of these volunteers and just say, hey, I'm going to pick up trash with you. And that's what I did, was I grabbed some trash bags and I helped distribute bags, and I helped them pick up. And once that phase of the Freedom Rally was complete, they told me to go check in down by the stage. A teenager, they were like, I've never met these people before. They're like, we can put you to work. We'll have you help break down the stage. So I worked with them late into the night. It was a very great experience, and that's my first act of activism, and ever since then I've just had a taste for it. I've really enjoyed it. MassCan, it's the Massachusetts Cannabis Coalition. It's the Massachusetts chapter of NORML, the National Organization for the Reformation of Marijuana Laws. They've been around forever. I believe the Freedom Rally's been going on for 28 years on the Boston Common. And my first one, I think, was 1994, 95, something like that. Did I answer your question? I don't even know. I got distracted.
Yeah, I was asking you pretty much what MassCan does.
We have, I can't speak on behalf of MassCan, but MassCan advocates on behalf of consumers, people who have been disproportionately affected by the drug war, patients who get benefits from using cannabis, and we help educate others and spread the good word about the benefits of cannabis and the harms of prohibition. Okay, so I'm currently a student in college, and one of the things that really bothers me about modern society is the state of politics. And so I'm trying to get my name on the ballot for Congress, which I think is a pretty lofty goal for somebody who doesn't have any money. It takes 2,500 signatures, but you can get your name on the ballot for Congress, and I hope in the meantime that I could just spread some values of freedom and liberty in the process. One of the things that really bothers me about our federal government is the war on drugs. Right now, we fund, we train, and we send weapons to foreign militaries to fight the war on drugs on our behalf with bombs and bullets. These governments aren't nearly as ethical as the United States are, and some people even question the ethics of the United States right now. They use our funding, our training, and our weapons to keep themselves in power while fighting the war on drugs. What happens is the cartels, in response to this militarized war on drugs, they have to pick up bombs and bullets to fight back. Guess who gets caught in the crossfire? It's always the citizens, it's always the farmers, it's always the people living there who want to go to school, go to work, and just live their lives. They end up getting killed. And so we talk about this immigration crisis. I know I'm all over the place, but we talk about the border and how we need to do something about the border. And we have things like walls being proposed. And I'm not a fan of the wall, but I also recognize that an unstable Mexico is a threat to the safety and security of the United States. And so what I would recommend is we immediately stop the militarized war on drugs. We get the federal government right out of the war on drugs, both domestically and abroad. That would stop, like, literally pouring gasoline on this out-of-control fire that's going on in Latin America. I think that would help alleviate a lot of the people who are leaving Latin America and going into Mexico to enter the United States. I would then advocate for completely ending our involvement in the Middle East, and I would suggest we ask the Mexican president if they would like our assistance in securing Mexico. And maybe instead of building a wall, we could completely open the border and come and go as we please. And that's what I would like to see. I'd like to see a Mexico that's safe for both the citizens of Mexico and for the people around the world that want to go there as a tourist destination for whatever reason. And I'd like to be able to maybe drink the water without having to worry about it. And that's like my vision, for like good neighborly relations. And unfortunately, we just don't see that in politics nowadays. Great. Oh, I love MassCan. We're always looking for more people to get involved. There are monthly meetings. It's the last Wednesday of every month around the Boston area. They're open to the public. That's how I got involved in MassCan recently. I just went on their website, I looked up when they have meetings, and I showed up. I've been doing this latest iteration of volunteering for MassCan for a little under a year, and here I am at the Harvest Cup. I've spent 3 days here. I've been Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I've helped them with the Freedom Rally. I've been on cancer walks. I've done all sorts of stuff for MassCan. It's really a good time. It's all volunteer-driven, nonprofit. It's a great organization if you want to get involved. And if you want to network with people in the industry, it's a great place to meet people who are local and very knowledgeable about cannabis.